So welcome to Go Ape. Has everyone here signed their disclaimer? I'm going to be your instructor today. So before we get going, I'll just introduce you to the kit. At the front of your harness, you have two very important safety lines. The colours are important, you'll find out why later on. At the end of your safety line, we have carabiners. So the carabiners we use are spring loaded. To open it up, you pull down the barrel and push it in. When you release, they'll snap shut. Just double check for me they are fully locked before you go anywhere as well. So also on your harness you have a pulley. You'll use it with your blue safety line. When you're not using your pulley, tuck it back away onto your pulley park. Like that. The last thing on your harness is a metal attachment point. Cool, so once you've been fitted into a harness, you'll have a chance to familiarise yourself with the process. Just follow the signs on the board, have a little play around for yourself, see if you can work it out. I'll be here to answer any questions. Before we go any further, I must remind you, you are about to take part in a high-risk activity. So by following the safety rules and advice, you will greatly reduce this chance of injury. Failure to follow the rules could result in a serious or a fatal injury. Once you leave the training site, you are no longer directly supervised by an instructor. You are responsible for your own safety and anybody else that you have signed for. So they must be directly supervised by going no further apart than one crossing away. If you are not comfortable with this responsibility, don't go past the training site. You are entitled for a full refund. So now that you've been fitted into a harness, please do not adjust it. If you find it becoming uncomfortable or slipping down, stop and alert an instructor. So now you've had a chance to familiarise yourself with the equipment, I'll go into a little bit more detail to ensure you know how to stay safe. So the most important rule is to always stay attached. Our safety system at Go Ape is the red cables going around the trees and between the steel cables marked out with the red buffers. So we always stay attached by moving one safety line at a time onto the red cable and just check the gates are closed. So at the crossings, take the pulley from your pulley park, place it on the steel cable with the strop running freely. Keep your hand on it as you move your blue carabiner through the holes on the pulley. Check the gate is locked before moving the red carabiner between the pulley and the red buffer on the cable. And again, check the gate is locked. At the end of the crossing, move one carabiner at a time back onto the red cable around the tree. Keep your hand on the pulley when you take the blue carabiner out, and then you can put your pulley away into the pulley park. The most important rule is to always stay attached by moving one carabiner at a time. So a Tarzan swing involves swinging on this rope into a cargo net. You place the green hook first onto your metal attachment point, followed by your safety lines. Move them one at a time from the red cable to the red loop on the swing. Check the gates are locked and then hold across all three of the safety lines as you swing. Don't hold on to any of the carabiners or metalwork above, as this will increase your risk of injury. Keep your hands low as you go into the cargo net. Just relax into your harness, bounce off the net, and on your second attempt, grab hold and climb on up. When you're back on a platform, move one safety line at a time back onto the red cable around the tree. And the green hook is always last. And remember to always stay attached. So if there is an emergency or you need first aid, just look down for the instructors. There is always one on patrol. You can shout down for our attention. If not, you can use your whistle on your harness to get our attention. 5 short, sharp blasts will come running to help. All the instructors are also first aid trained. So the gates are here at the start of every site. To get in, you just enter the code, turn the handle and push the door. If you're last in, just pull the door shut to make sure it's locked behind you. So to attach onto a ladder, you pull down on the rope and use the green hook first onto your metal attachment point, exactly the same as you did on a Tarzan swing, followed by your safety lines, one at a time, moving them up into the silver loop by your head. And then you can climb up. At the top on the platform, you'll be reminded of our golden rule. Always stay attached. So move one carabiner at a time back onto the red cable. The green hook is always last, and then you can follow it around to the crossing. So to attach onto a crossing, we take our pulley from our pulley part, place it on top of the cable, marked out with the red buffers, so the strop is running freely. Keep your hand on the pulley, and then move your blue safety line to the blue pulley. Check the gate is locked before you move your red safety line onto the cable between the buffer and the pulley. One extra thing is you can hook this trailing carabiner on top of the pulley and you're ready to cross. So the signs are here to help you. They'll show you how to attach and the best way to get across. If you are feeling uncomfortable at height, don't look down, focus on the tree ahead. If for whatever reason you do lose your footing, you'll just sit into your harness. So you can pull yourself ahead by reaching below, like this, or reaching up above, getting your foot back on the crossing to try again. So at the end of the crossing, we move one carabiner at a time back on to the red cable going around the tree. Keep your hand on the blue pulley as you take your blue safety line out and ensure the gates are locked. Remember, always stay attached by moving one safety line at a time. So if you guys want to start making your way through Site 1, the safety system we use against the ladders are called stop falls. It will lock off if you fall, just like a seatbelt. It will also lock off if you climb up too quickly or pull it down too hard. The way to release the stop falls is by lifting the rope up in the opposite direction. Remember, as you go through the course, it's up to 3 people allowed on a platform and only 1 at a time on a crossing. You can start attaching so you're ready as long as you wait on the platform. If you are supervising somebody at this point, they need to stay no more than 1 crossing away. So, at the end of every site, we have a zip wire taking you back down to the forest floor. As you go down, you will pick up speed. You land at a running pace, either facing forwards, sideways, or backwards. So in each case, just relax into your harness. Don't try and turn yourself around. Before you attach on, check the landing site. Make sure it's clear before you go down. If you can't see, you don't go. Once you're happy it's clear, please attach the same way as you did on every other crossing. So pulley on the top cable, blue to blue, and the red one trailing behind. So when you go down the zip wire, keep your hand on the blue safety line. Keep your hands away from the cable, and as you step off, keep your feet pointing down. As I said earlier, you'll be landing at running speed, so if you're facing forwards, keep your feet down and run before the landing so you can run into it. If you do turn around to face sideways or backwards, keep your heels down, drag along in the wood chip, you'll slow down gently to a stop. Once you've landed, please disconnect from the cable and exit the landing site. Is it clear?
Yep.
Off you go. Perfect. So remember, supervising adults need to go down last, and if you can't see, you don't go. So I've got a few questions before you start. Can you tell me how many people are allowed to stand on a platform? That's right, it's 3. And how many on a crossing? Yes, only 1 at a time. If you do land sideways on a zip wire, what will you do? Correct, yes, get your feet down and drag your heels. And where do you hold onto a Tarzan swing? That's right, all 3 of your safety lines. And can you tell me the most important rule? Correct, always stay attached. Now you're ready to begin your forest adventure.